because that's how we do it in Texas.
Well, y'all better watch out because we're going to go down there and get a hold of them.
This is the Sunday Sportsman on Sports Talk, AM 1300 The Zone, hosted by Central Texas fishing legend Ken Milam.
I thought you'd like this one.
That is a good one. We're just trying to figure out different day-to-day songs. That's a good one. That is a good song.
Ken was talking to me during the break. He's trying to have me find this other song that we might throw in there a little later.
Okay, somebody call in. What's the name of the song? One of the lines was he could turn rusted bolts, rusted nuts with his hands. I can't think of the name of the song, but that's one of the lines in it. Well, that's one of the lines in it. He was singing about his dad. He could turn rusted bolts with his hands, and I don't remember the name of the song. And it's not that old a song, and I can't think of it. I can't even think of who sang it. But anyway, somebody call in and tell us that one. But hey, this segment here, we got Chico in the studio. We're just going to kind of leave it open. Y'all want to jump in and ask Chico anything about kayak fishing? Sound like he tore them up on Lake Austin yesterday. 390-5483. That's the Whataburger hotline. It's open. And Chico, how are you doing this morning?
Man, I'm doing good. I had to remember that the last time I saw you, we were full of woe over a drought.
Ain't that the truth? What Travis was 50 feet low, and now what is it, 10 feet maybe?
We're in heaven.
I mean, well, not on Buchanan. We only put about 8 foot on Buchanan. So,
we've been wanting to get and check that out. So.
Well, it is getting good. Catfishing right now on the upper end of Buchanan is good. Striper fishing is great in the mornings. Afternoon, for some reason, well, it's just because they're not setting a pattern with generators, and but the afternoon fishing's tough. Catching fish, but it's tough. It's nothing like the morning fishing. Morning, they've got them patterned, coming out of the bait coming off of the ridges, and the stripers are right there with them, and they're tearing them up in the morning. Then by midday, it's all over with. And then afternoons, you got to kind of figure out how they're going to come out of the shad. Your bait fish are going to come out of the trees and go back to the ridges. So you're just setting up and ambushing them.
Right.
I mean, that's all you're doing.
So you're up about 10 feet there now? So I think that's what I heard.
Yeah, we're up about 10 feet.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, we need another, I can't use any of my docks yet. We need another 10 or 12 feet, and I can be on my docks, which would be a wonderful thing.
Right. Well, we have ramps in Cedar Park now. So Cypress Creek is open. That's new.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Oh, Cypress Creek is open.
Well, it's
now?
not. Kayaks can get in.
Okay.
We're not getting boats down there yet, but it's launchable for a kayak. So.
And is that on Brushy Creek?
Cypress Creek itself, I think it feeds off of Brushy Creek. I'd have to. Don't make me lie about that one, but it's a feeder from that. But that's how Brushy Creek gets in there.
Right. Mm-hmm. And then you fished Lake Austin.
Yes, sir.
And you said you were sending pictures all morning, and some of those bass you had were some really good bass.
We ended up with 3 over 5, and the rest were right in that 3-pound range, maybe a couple of real small 12-inchers, but the real important part is those fish are healthy looking. They're not stunted looking. Yeah. There's a couple of them with the real big heads, but the bodies are pretty stout. So
basically what they have learned to do now is they've learned not to be an ambush fish. Now they're having to chase the schools of threadfin shad and find the perch, where before all they do is just lay in wait and wait for the fish to, bait fish to swim by and then run out there and grab them. Now they're having to fish completely, learn how to chase their bait completely different.
Right. It took a while for me to just snap to it, but they're identifying with structure. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no more grass, so it wasn't until Bo said, man, they're all in the structure. If something's sticking out, there's fish by it, and that's what was happening.
Did y'all know where they put the brush, where Texas Parks and Wildlife and Texas Tournament Zone put the brush? Did y'all go fish that?
We have some of the coordinates, and we didn't use them. We weren't at that end. We came under the dam at low water crossing and then went south. And there wasn't as many of those there, but there's still some downfall in there. You got a lot of laydowns, and it seemed to be a little high, a lot of flotsam at the edges, and about 2 foot clarity, but it's fishing really good.
That's
in the morning.
that's what's hard to believe on Lake Austin. 2-foot clarity. I mean, Lake Austin used to be one of those pristine, just beautiful, clear lakes. And, they got rid of the grass for some reason that we won't get into. And now they've got them, well, it sounds like it's getting clearer than what it was a few months ago.
Yeah. It's still emerald. It's that emerald green look. So, but, we're going to find a way to fish that lake. And they're still in there. There's a lot of carp activity. You can see them, and they're up on the surface, and they're making themselves seen, but they're not bothering what we were doing. And
they're looking for anything green that they can eat.
Yeah, and you can tell they've got the grass caged off in their little preservation areas, and it's ate all the way up to the fence and inside of it. So
it sounds like
aggressive.
They're. Didn't see any 12 or 13 pound fish, which Lake Austin is known for.
No,
but some good fish.
Yeah, but they're in there.
Oh yeah,
they are in there, and they're laying in wait.
Yeah,
and you get there in the mornings. I'm telling you, if you're there in the mornings, it's on.
Are fishing docks?
Yeah, one of the nice ones we pulled off was right out of the docks. So docks are fishing real good. It's the way to fish now because that's the structure.
Yeah,
that's going to be what there is. So it's. Overhangs were pretty good, and Bo was tossing his frog back up into there and having a good time. They were hitting the frog real aggressive. So it's Austin. I'm impressed with it. It's doing okay. We were worried about it.
Took a little while.
It's taken a while. I think it's finding a balance. The fish are finding the balance.
That's exactly, that's something that we were talking to Bob Lusk, and Bob says, well, Ken, those fish are going to have to learn now from being an ambush fish and just laying up in the grass or in the milfoil and in the the weed.
Yeah, whatever.
And the bait fish would swim by, then they'd just run out there and flare out and suck them in and eat them. Well, now they're having to get out and hunt the perch and hunt where the shad's going to be. And he said once they figure that out, everything will be good. But he says because they're having to exert, he says you're not going to see as many big fish as you did because they're having to use a lot of their energy now to chase bait fish with.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I might point out that if you fish it in a kayak, it's much more deliberate. Mm-hmm. You spend much more time in one spot, and you tend to look for all of those potential structures with a little more time and effort than you do in a boat that you can just fire up and run along. So now, it forces you to stay on it a little.
Were you in the kayak with the trolling motor?
Yeah,
the one. What do they call
the Predator, Minn Kota XL. Yeah. We had it with us. We sure did. But, we hardly used that motor yesterday. We probably stayed within
Y'all just paddle?
a 1 mile area there between low water crossing and the docks, and we just paddled it and had a guest out with us, and she was paddling too. So,
any particular color better than others?
You mean for the bait pattern? Yeah, pumpkin seed, a little bit of fleck in it. I think again the we had low light and cloudy coverage, so that we like the blue and the chartreuse and the off colors on that. But I think in rubber they're going to hit what's into there because it's so murky. Mm-hmm. They're kind of sensing what's there and then looking for it and they'll chase it down.
We had talked to Alan Christensen earlier on Lake Travis, and he said on Lake Travis, he says it's an early bite, first hour topwater, then next hour go to a mid dive crankbait, mid dive and crankbait, 4 to 8 foot of water. And then you're going to go, the next hour, you're going to go to a worm bite. And he said the fish, where they were easy to catch, now Travis has come up a lot, and there's so much cover. The fish have got so many places they can stay now and live. So it has scattered the fish, and it's not near as easy as it was.
And they're finding a lot of food. There's still a lot to eat that's been floating around. That hasn't been settled. So.
And one thing about Travis, even though, it has all these trees have filled up, are covered up, and it may be tough the first year, But as next year comes along, the bait fish are going to be so much more plentiful. It's just going to steadily get better, folks. And you're going to see better fish coming out of Travis because of all this structure. I don't know if y'all think back when Amistad was 80-something feet low and it filled up, and then all of a sudden it became a destination lake for all of your big-time bass fishermen. That's what Travis and Buchanan's going to be. It's going to be a destination lake. These fish are going to grow up. They're going to have all this structure, all this cover, and it's going to be great. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to start picking up on your really good down scan fish finders, because they're really useful now with all this structure.
Yeah. We're going to talk. We just have a caller call in with Texas Tournament Zone. Hey, Brian, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Ken Milam, I'm good. How are y'all doing? Hey, Chico, how are you, buddy?
We're doing
good. Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I know you guys were just talking about it, and thought it'd be an opportune time to call in. First of all, how about this water? I tell you, and couldn't agree more with what y'all were saying. But I'm gonna get my bass boat and follow Chico around that kayak.
Did you see that, Brian?
he says, you just got to fish a little slower on Lake Austin. There's plenty of big fish there.
I tell you what, yeah, we've been pleased. Our Wednesday nighters are kicking out some pretty good limits now. It's off and on, you know. 1 week will be 14 some odd pounds will win it. The next week it'll be 22 pounds. But every week we're starting to see better and better fish come out. They're not as skinny as they were, and I think they're starting to get a little dialed into that, as you said, that ambush situation and changing habitat. But man, we're so excited about Travis and Buchanan. Like you said, that it's going to take a little while.
Yep.
But because they've got, thousands of new acres of cover and everything else, and they're intimidating right now, to say the least. But I just cannot imagine what the next couple of years of spawn are going to hold for us. They'll be the most successful spawns as far as largemouth that these lakes have maybe ever seen.
Yeah,
and it's going to be amazing.
The bait fish are going to be unreal because threadfin shad, they have to spew their eggs out on something, and there's so much cover on that lake now. There's going to be so much bait. It's going to be just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you said, Ken, they're going to be, for all of us in the fishing industry, which is everyone on this in this discussion, is going to be for decades incredible fisheries. They're going to both be destination lakes, as you said, Travis and Buchanan.
Yep.
Much like Amistad, there's established cover that's not going to go anywhere. We've got trees around Sometimes Island that are literally established trees in 30 foot of water that are huge, and they're just forests of trees, and it's going to be set up completely different to what they were. But we're really excited. Both Buchanan and Travis are going to be back on the TTZ Spring Trail for the first time in a long time. The guys are so excited. They can't stand it.
Brian, let me ask you something. What are you doing at 7:45? Can you give us a call back and we can talk about the trails and everything?
I'm going to be calling you at 7:45, Ken Milam.
Sound like a winner. Give us a call at 7:45. Chico's in here with us, and we'll talk about the Wednesday nighter and what y'all are looking for to do next year. So, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll throw in a little bit about the Skeeter Owners Tournament, too, and the brush pile build. Some good stuff out of both of those things.
Sounds great. That'd be wonderful. So,
all
folks,
right,
7:45, we're going to have Brian Booker with Texas Tournament Zones, Chico in here, and we're going to be talking local fishing. So we'll see you, and Brian, give us a call, and we'll holler, and we'll get hold of you. So, folks, we'll see you on the other side of this break in just a few minutes. Y'all be good. Captain Phil here in just a minute. Bye.
This is Lieutenant Colonel Cody Robertson. You're listening to the Sunday Sportsman right here on Sports Talk AM 1300 The Zone. Ho!
Live from the Bud Light Studios in Austin, Texas, this is Sunday Sportsman, presented by Callahan's General Store, here on Sports Talk AM 1300 The Zone. Now, here is your host, Ken Milam.
Hey, man, what's going on? Hi, what's the good word there?
Michael, how did you know that they call Captain Phil Spencer down there at the coast, they call him the Breeze? How did you know that?
That was just a lucky guess.
Well, that's his nickname down there on the coast. They call him the Breeze. Anytime he's out there, the wind's blowing. Folks, we got Captain Phil. Now, before we get to you, Captain, we got to tell what you. Chico brought a bunch of stuff to give away. We're going to have 3 little.
What's all that
Johnson
stuff out on
Outdoor
the table
Prize wag bags.
We got swag bag here. It's some Bang Lures, some Bass Assassin.
All right.
Yeah, shameless plug. Thank you, Michael. And we got some hats and floaties and whistles and general stuff you need on a kayak, man.
So you'll hear the horns of indoor. When you hear those horns, you'll be 13th caller and you'll win. We got 3 little bags?
3 of them. We can make it 3. Mm-hmm.
So here in just a minute, you'll probably hear one. We only got 3 segments
courtesy
left.
of Captain Phil, I might add.
We don't have
Captain
a lot of
Phil
segments.
Okay, so there you go. So we got 3 bags to give away. So, but now we're going to go down to the coast and talk to Captain Phil. Captain Phil, what are the coordinates you're at right now, so we can tell this out on air, so everybody knows where your secret spot is?
I just came in, and I'm telling you, I got a limited trout from 17 to 19 inches. I just sent Chico a picture. Believe it or not, I was at north at 27 degrees 48, 27.48 north, west 97.23.
There he is. I told you.
Okay, now what were you throwing, and were you using a slow retrieve, or were you walking them?
I was actually caught a couple of them, bringing it in pretty quick, but the trout were just crushing a chicken on a chain, sea shad, die dapper from Bass Assassin, the die dappers, chicken on a chain, and also the plum and chartreuse 5-inch sea shads.
Now, what color was the Johnson Outdoors kayak that you were in? I know. There's the fish. He's in a green kayak.
Green camo. Green camo.
And I just saw the picture of the fish, folks. He's got a pile of them.
Yeah. I just went out to play around for Father's Day. Let me tell everybody on the air, and you, Ken, and Chico, and everybody else listening, happy Father's Day to everyone today, and hope you get to have the best day you could possibly have.
I agree with you 100%. And if you're having a great day, you're out on the water catching trout and having a good time, and that's part of it right there.
Thanks, Dad.
You bet.
And
hey, I want to tell you, we had a great tournament this past weekend, the Casting for a Cause. Billy Koshin was actually, her and her husband were the Waymasters. Great. We had a great time. She's got some stuff coming up, a great saltwater Sweeties tournament for all the women that all you women out there, if you throw bait, lures, it doesn't matter. This is a great tournament, great charities that they're going to be helping out, and I'm sure you get to talk to her about that here later.
In fact, we'll have her on next segment. She'll be on next segment. She's listening to you right now.
Awesome. The fishing down here right now with all the fresh water, the rain that we've gotten, and, of course, the big tidal flow from a hurricane or so-called tropical storm, whatever you want to call it, Bill, it's great. The rain and all that water that we've received here, the trout bite was really bad and slow for the last couple of years, but all the salinity levels went down because of all of the fresh water, and the trout have moved in like crazy.
Now, this water coming in, this big influx of water through all the rivers, all the creeks, everything. People will say, well, it's going to mess up fishing. It sounds like it's not, but it's going to make it so much better in the long run because it's dumping so many more nutrients into the bays, and your shrimp will be going up, and there's going to be more for the small fry, the babies to eat. Yep. So consequently, it's just going to be better years to come.
Oh, it's a win-win. I mean, we needed this. We needed all this rain. We haven't had this much water, fresh water, in our bay systems in it's been 4 or 5 years since we've had this much. And plus this big tidal flow brought back a lot more salt water back into the marshes with that fresh water. So it's a great mixture. The only bad part about it is, like I said, I feel bad for some of these guys that are doing some of the redfish tournaments because those redfish are not where they normally are. All that fresh water is so fresh that it pushed a lot of them out into the bay systems, and they're not back in the marshes like they normally are.
Phil, are you hearing anything about Cedar Bayou since they've opened it up over there? Or is it I know we've been talking to several, and they say it's just such awesome fishing over there. Have you heard anything?
Yeah, it is, and it's going to get better with time. You know, the only thing is, like I said, I just hope it doesn't silt in. They keep it open. It's going to get better and better with time. That influx is going to help that area quite a bit, I think. Like I said, the trout bite, we needed that. I mean, I wish there was a way that they could do that between marker 37. Let me say the Packery Channel and the Mansfield cut way down. I wish that there was somewhere near Yarborough or Bass, somewhere that they could actually do another one to get more water flow to the Laguna, just because of the brown tide that we were having over all these years, and I think it would help out greatly.
I bet you. Do you know who Greg Stuntz is, Professor Greg Stuntz?
No, I don't. Not personally.
He's there in Corpus. I'll get you a phone number of his. He is a marine biologist there in Corpus. He is kind of the guy that the Washington listens to.
Ah, okay.
So I'll get you a phone number, and he's a great individual. He was a lot of his what I want to say, his college was paid for on scholarships by CCA. So that's his connection to fishing, and he is a fisherman, a great.
Yeah, I
fisherman.
love it, and that BP spill hurt us because the surf fishing wasn't as good as it's been. It's okay now because of this fresh water. But, our fishing the last few years since that spill just hasn't been as good, and we've been dealing with a lot of brown tide in the Laguna. And this fresh water really helped it out. And like I said, we'll see how things work out from there. But right now the fishing here is it's on fire.
Okay, what was those coordinates again?
I'm telling you right now, when you look this up, it's north 2748, west 9723. I'll put it to you this way. I've got a beautiful view of Corpus Christi, the Lexington, and all of downtown.
He's downtown. He's right downtown. Listen to that. Come on.
Can you see the Water Street Oyster Bar?
I'm actually, I was messing around, but I'm actually, I was around a lot of rocks. So.
He's at the Rip Rap there.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
Me, the way I am, like I said, I love sharing information with people and passing on the love of this great sport to everyone and anyone. And it doesn't really matter. Like I said, just show courtesy to the other fishermen and don't make anybody mad.
That's it.
You know how that goes.
Just get out there. Everybody have a good time. Everybody have fun. And that's all that matters right there.
Yep. Just show courtesy to everybody else and wave and have a good time and catch some fish and enjoy life.
And, Phil, we're fixing to run out of time here. We're going to have Billy here in just a second, so we'll get her talking here in just a minute. If anybody wanted to go down and come fishing with you and you do some guiding too, what's that phone number? How can they get hold of you?
They can look me up on the Adventures on the Water, followfishman.com. I put up videos, and Mike and I, we put up a lot of videos probably at least once every few days. Fishman's Guide Service. But my number here is area 361-815-4240. And I love to get everybody from kids, adults, women. Let me get you out on the kayaks and show you how great this sport is and how relaxing it is.
Now, folks, if maybe you're going to be fishing saltwater sweeties, and maybe Captain Phil's not booked for that tournament, there you go, right there.
Yep, let me know. Like I said, I teach you the fine art of throwing artificial. I want you to learn, and I want everybody to learn that.
Captain Phil, we appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you, Ken. Again, you guys have a great, happy Father's Day, and I look forward to chatting with you guys again and seeing you here real soon.
Take care. Turn on your iHeart app, and AM 1300 The Zone. You can listen to Billy here in just a second.
I just got in off the water, so I'm just now loading my stuff up.
Appreciate it, my friend. We'll see y'all on the other side of this break in just a few minutes with a whole lot more of the Sunday Sportsman, brought to you by Callahan's General Store. Captain Billy Koshin here in just a minute. Bye.